Welcome back to another video, and today I'll be doing an experiment with Tech Reborn. And what this experiment has is different ores and different machinery just to make more ore or just to make special machinery. That's all I can elaborate on that one. But we're going to carry on. We have is the wrench and a Tech Reborn manual. And what this manual will do is it takes you to a wiki page, their Discord server, or if you want a refund of your items. But I'm going to talk about these two links. So the first one takes you to the wiki page so you can learn more about the experiment, and their Discord server is used if you're having issues with the experiment. Those will be provided in the description so you can easily go there and ask for help. And if you want a refund, just click the refund button and you get your book and your refined iron ingots. Then over here we have is the rubber log or the rubber tree itself, and we have the raisin basin in which it stores sap. So this is a built-in hopper that drains rubber from this tree, and no, not rubber from the tree, sap from the tree, and you get your rubber. And once you get your rubber, you can use it just to make insulated copper wires. And the wrench is just used for orienting. I'm not sure if I repeat that twice, but this is used for changing the inputs and outputs of the machinery. But I'm not going to go into detail with it because the wiki will tell you everything about the experiment. And then we have all the ores within this experiment. So we have tin ore, lead ore, silver ore, galena, ruby, sapphire, iridium, the rarest one. And then we have the otherworld type ores and tungsten. There's just a lot you need to collect, and make sure you have fortune on your pickaxe. And over here, this stuff is unattainable because it's just unattainable. That's all I can elaborate for this part. You cannot get these in your overworld or in your world at all, but it may require some configuration. Carry on, we have are the machines. So we have the compression machine, the assembling machine, the alloy furnace machine, the grinder machine, the rolling machine, and the industrial centrifuge machine. And all they do is just they function automatically. That's all I can say there. And the compression machine is used to make plates, and all you just gotta do is slap some ingots in there. It can work with iron, gold, copper, whatever ingot that you have, and it turns it into a plate variant. And do bear in mind, all these machines will make a lot of noises, and you may have to craft a muffler just to mute this thing, because these things work very loud. Like, this is insanely loud. Then we have the assembling machine, which is used to make lithium batteries, for example. I'm not sure why the crafting GUI is not working as it should, but it may require you to download other experiments just for it to work, like prominence, for example. Then we have is the alloy furnace. You have the fueled one and you have the electric one. The fueled one is going to be the first one that you're going to make until you start learning how to make energy. Then you can start making solar panels, so you could still do the same thing like the coal-powered one. And then we have is the grinder. And what the grinder is used for, and you see this has the muffler upgrade. It's used to convert your materials into dusts, or you can just get more of the outputs. So for this example, we have iron ore, and it gets grinded into raw iron. So instead of getting one, you may get two or three, depending on the configuration. But it's very useful for increasing output of the material that you're trying to get. And then the rolling machine is used for making coils. So you have the copper nickel heating coil, the nitrome heating coil, and the cathode heating coil. And for this one, all you just need is copper and nickel, and it has already been set up. And all you just got to do is just let it energize, and it's very loud. Like, I have to keep saying this because this stuff gets very loud once you start working these things together. And once you combine those two together, you get the quantity of 3 copper nickel heating coils. Very useful for making these multi-block machines. And then we have the industrial centrifuge, which is used for, in my case, to extract sap from the rubber logs. And you can also collect cells just to use it for other machines, maybe to make some semi-plasmic material. I don't know what it's called, but it's used for energy, and it's a lot better than using a generator. Now we're here with the copper and wires. So we have the regular cables, then we have the insulated cables, and then we have the upgrades. So the upgrades have different uses, and you can also use the shift button just to read more information about each things or anything within this experiment. So these here are just regular cables. I highly don't recommend making these because they can actually electrocute you if you ever plan to use one. So always insulate them with rubber. If you don't, you get electrocuted. I have already did this before and it sucked. And then for this one, you could still use this one. It doesn't electrocute you at all. It's just glass fiber, but it may not drop. I don't know too much about it, but for the safe side, just make some insulated HV cables or some insulated gold cables or tin cables. That's all I can try to tell you. Make sure you don't get electrocuted or else you're going to be fried. Then what we have here is the multi-block machines itself. There's many other multi-block machines, but I'm just going to use these two for example. So we have the industrial grinder, which is the stronger version of this grinder. So this is like a top tier. And in order to make it, you just need to push the hologram button, and these are the materials that you need. So you need casings, you need standard casings, and just put a block of water there. Then you got yourself a grinder that works a lot more efficiently than this grinder machine over here. However, it may require more energy just to power it. And for this example, this one is already built, and this is a industrial blast furnace. And right now, it already takes lava, and we can convert our iron bars into iron ingots again, but it's more like a recycling machine, and it's also used to make aluminum in prominence. So always make sure you have a ton of these multi-block machines if you want to boost up the process. Now we're going down here, and we have the solar generators and other generators. There's tons of machines that I can showcase. There's just an extreme big library of them, and I don't want to spend too much time going over everything. I highly recommend going to the wiki just to learn how it's used and to try it out for yourself. But anyways, these are the solar panels. This is the basic one all the way to the quantum solar panel. This is the best one there is because this has quantum in the name. It can hold a lot more energy and generate a lot more. So I highly recommend going for this one. And then we have other generators. So we have the coal power generator, the semi-fluid generator, which requires oil. This one requires lava. This one is a water mill. It requires adjacent water just for it to power up. So this is like the cheaper version of getting energy. Then we have the plasma generators. So this is the one I was talking about, the helium plasma. If you ever use the centrifuge or the industrial centrifuge, that's how you get this stuff. But that's very expensive and it can store a lot of energy. And then we have the windmill. And I know there's a lot more generators on the list, but like I said, there's a lot more to the library. And then we have the energy storage. So we have the battery box, the MFE, and the MFSU. So I highly recommend going for the higher ones since they hold a lot more energy. You can make charging stations for your tools, or you can use it with other mods just to help charge up other machinery or other gadgets. For this setup, what we have here is the recycler with the crafting, with the scrapinator to give us scraps, which gives us useful materials. And what you can do is just grab random trash or anything that you have in your chests. Say, for example, you have a lot of rotten flesh in your chest and you want to get rid of it. It has no purpose at all. You can just put it through the recycler and you get yourself some scraps that can be converted into something else. And then that. So pretty much this is a recycling machine. And this is if you don't have any other alternatives with the experiment, and all you just got to do is just find a way to repurpose things. So just look at this as a recycler setup just to get your stuff back. And if you ever get something trash out of here, say like a small pile of magnesium dust, you can put it back in to get it recycled again to give you something different, or a piece of scrap to help you maybe get a diamond. But I'm just going to say it's not guaranteed that you're going to get anything from the scrapinator since it's all randomized. And I highly recommend installing other experiments like Create, Modern Industrialization, Technical Evolution, or anything relating to technology, since this experiment will take a long time just to keep recycling things. And I just want it to be a lot easier for everybody just to understand and love to use this experiment. What we have are the tools and the armor. The tools are very primitive. They're just replacements of iron to help you save on iron. But what I really want to wear is this quantum set. This quantum armory is very cool looking, looks so futuristic, but really expensive. The nano set is alright, but I highly recommend going towards quantum. since this gives you the ability to fly. And I could just show you what happens once you fully equipped it. So you put on everything and make sure you charge them up because they do require power. And you can enable this just by shifting and clicking in your inventory just like this, set to active. It gives you some perks like maybe flight or maybe super speed. Like this one, the leggings grant you speed for indefinitely until you disable them, but they do eat up power. So you got to figure out a way to to save power. And the helmet's the same way too. It just grants you night vision, and that really hurts my eyes. It doesn't work too well with the shaders, but we can fly around, and if I enable the leggings like I should, then we can fly a little bit faster in survival mode. This is why this experiment is very useful, just to travel across distances and just to showcase how of a genius you are. And look at that. I look very sharp with this armor on. Very sharp, looking smooth. But anyways, we're going to look at the electric tools. So we have the industrial drill, the omni tool, and the industrial chainsaw. These are the basic ones that you can just get just by crafting with copper or with bronze. But these are like the cheaper options that doesn't require a lot of energy. But once you get to the industrial ones, it will be very beneficial. So we need to enable these just to change their modes. So this one allows me to cut down trees. I wish it allows me to cut down a full tree like tree feller. Oh, yeah, if you have this enabled, you can use tree feller. I think the other one I was trying to use didn't do too well. Then we have is the industrial drill. And this one has a little mode to activate and deactivate. So if you activate the chainsaw, it cuts down full trees. Once you disable it, it just allows you to cut down a single wood. Doesn't cause tree falling. For this one, this is the industrial drill. So if we just break a block like this one, it just gives you one block. If you put it or enabled it, you're able to cut 3 by 3. Yeah, it's very self-explanatory. I really wish I don't have to explain too much of things. And right here we have the Omni tool, which it does. It's basically a multi-tool of everything. It can be treated as a shovel. It can be treated as a weapon. So it's like a hybrid of sorts. And I could show you. So it's a sword, an advanced chainsaw, an advanced drill with a wrench. And this wrench has a lot of uses. So that's why I recommend looking into the experiments and you be able to benefit from this. And I forgot one more thing. I believe it was the nano sword. The nano sword is very cool too. It can one-tap horses and one-tap any mobs, but it's very expensive and you have to charge it up with these energy boxes. So this is the nano sword that I was talking about. So it does 6 attack damage and 5 attack speed. This is a lot faster than a sword. And if you enable it just by shift and right clicking, it will increase it. Instead of just doing 6, it does 20 plus damage. So this sword actually does a lot more damage than a regular sword with a 3 attack speed. So you can really just spam this thing around. So if I just spawn a horse, no horses were harmed in this video. I could just click it. Look at that. You can just hit it twice. If I try to crit it, instantly dead. I mean, you could probably kill tons and tons of animals, tons of mobs in one sweep. Imagine just applying sweeping edge to your nano saber. It will save you a lot of time, and if you applied Skulk Smite onto the sword as well, the warrior will be running away in fear. Anyways, this is going to conclude for the showcase of Tech Reborn. And I hope that this showcase have encouraged you to try out the experiment, because this experiment can help you with day-to-day tasks instead of you just using primitive ideas with vanilla Minecraft. Like, I know people are getting tired of vanilla things, and vanilla can get very boring, but once you downloaded this experiment and you become more creative and thinking outside the box and making machinery, you'll just be that one genius. That one genius in that server and that one genius in your own world. Imagine yourself being a scientist that can build complex machinery, solve certain math questions, or just make a machine that can automate fully on its own. By then, you'll be a definite genius when it comes down to using Tech Reborn. If you like the showcase, leave a like. Want to watch more of me review and showcase mods? then hit that subscribe button. Until next time, see you soon.